Welcome to the program. I'm Stefan Grobe. Spain is moving one step closer to gender self-identification as Madrid approves a new draft bill allowing anyone over the age of 16 to legally change their gender. The so-called self-ID law will set age limits, with 14 to 16-year-olds needing parental approval. If passed by the lower house, trans people will be able to declare their gender by filling in a form at a registry office and then confirming it 3 months later. The LGBTQ community has hailed the legislation as historic. For more on this, Manu Terradillos, editor of our Spanish language service, joins me now here in the studio. Hello, Manu, good to see you. So, how likely is it that this bill will get approval? And if so, how will it work?
Buenas tardes, good evening, Stefan. Well, it's more likely to be approved. If not, the government would not have presented this. Obviously, it has to go through all the parliamentary procedures. There might be negotiations, but this shows that the government is confident on what they are presenting. As you say, the main thing is this self-determination. This is a step forward. In 2007, Spain approved a pioneering law about it that made that it was possible to change your gender without going any sort of surgery. Now, this means that you do not need any sort of legal document, medical document, because that factually meant that there was some sort of pathology that needed to be corrected, and this is not the case. Obviously, this is the main thing, that if you are 16 or older, you can do it by yourself, but this law is bigger and touches other groups. For example, in terms of lesbian couples, it will facilitate that the woman who is not the natural mother of a child, it will facilitate all the motherhood and all the maternity rights over the child, something that is more complicated now. For example, as well, non-binary people will not need in their ID card to choose between any gender, male or female. So it touches a lot of groups, and it's not only focused on transgender people, but it's the main thing of this law.
So if approved, it's a huge message to the LGBTQ community, not only in Spain, but also in Europe. But not everyone is in agreement with it, right?
Of course, there are some controversies. First of all, minors. You said 16-year-old people or older, so between 16 and 18, which means minors, could change it without any sort of supervision. So some groups, some sectors said you are too young, you cannot even buy hard alcohol, but you can choose your gender. And if we move even to younger people, from 14, they can change their gender. Obviously, it's more complicated, parents' approval, some sort of legal procedures, but nevertheless, we're still speaking about minors, and some groups are not very happy with that. But it is not only that. Some feministic groups are also against it because they say it's diluting a little bit all the rights that these groups and women fought really hard to get, because it will allow easily men to change their gender and take advantage of some measures. So, somehow it will corrupt all these wins, all these victories they had in the past. And just so we sum up, for example, Carmen Calvo, who is the most powerful woman in Spanish politics, the vice prime minister of the government, the number 2 of the government, has said that she is not agreeing with this proposal, this law that most likely will be approved in the future in Spain.